Thanks to Jersey's Sports Zone, and Volpe makes almost the identical play.
At home, they call me Big Al, and I hit dingers.
Remember that young man, Big Al?
The Minnesota Lynx select Diamond Miller.
Video courtesy of Jersey Sports Zone.
It's an incredible goal, so that's a nice one. It's deserved of number one.
You got my food.
Number 2, New Jersey high school football.
Here on Jersey Sports Zone.
November's almost here, and that means we're getting ready for playoff high school sports. Oh, it doesn't get any better than that. Welcome to Beyond the Score, Episode 9. I'm Rich Crampanis, joined as always by Jay Cook. And Jay, it's getting to be that time where we got to turn things up a notch.
I know. The playoffs are here. It's exciting. The brackets are out. We now get the fun job of going through everything and seeing where everybody landed and what these next couple weeks are going to look like. It's going to be a lot of fun.
But before we do that, we have to take some serious time and digest one of the most amazing high school football games that you got to be at.
Unbelievable.
We're going to get all into Bergen Joe's. We're going to relive Jay's 9 minutes of highlights, and I wanted more. That's how good it was.
It was awesome.
So we'll have all that. I'll talk soccer, some PK drama.
Oh, yeah.
Fences being broken. All that and much more. That's when Beyond the Score comes right back in a couple seconds.
It's one thing to win one award, but it's another 46 things to win 46 awards. New Jersey's most comprehensive academic healthcare system. Learn more at rwjbh.org/US News.
Welcome back to Beyond the Score, brought to you by RWJ Barnabas Health. Let's be healthy together. And Jay, I can just sum it up in 2 words. Joe's Bergen. To give you an idea of the impact, I'm at the Shore Conference soccer game. It's intense.
For sure.
Colts Neck, Mid-South, 0-0, high level, beautiful soccer. And all the guys on the sideline, the media guys are like, what's going on? Is Jay there? Jay's there. I'm like, I'm at the 0-0 game. Jay's at the 43-42 game.
Yeah.
So the fact that I feel like everywhere around the state was doing the same thing, where the chatter was going on social media of what is going on in Oradell. And I think it will go down as, in the Hall of Fame of Jersey Sports Zone games, it's going to be in that pantheon. It's a first ballot Hall of Famer.
That is a great way to put it. A first ballot Hall of Fame game. That's just what it was. I mean, you go to these games, we have seen these teams, we've seen what they're capable of, and look, you never know what you're going to walk into, right? I mean, that's the beauty of being a sports journalist. Everything is different every time you go in, right? And you get to this game, incredible atmosphere. I got the shot of the Crusader Crazies running up the street.
What a shot.
Yeah, that was fun. I mean, those guys are just lunatics. I mean, it's just the kindest way to put it, and they'll gladly take that as a compliment. And that sets the tone for an incredible game. So they're all fired up. And Joe's just comes out, just punched him in the mouth. I mean, it was like, wow. Joe's is up 28-7 on Bergen. And I am on the Joe's sideline. People on the Joe's sideline, the boosters, people part of the team, they're like high-fiving me. They're like, we got him. I'm like, first off, don't interact with me like that. Don't start high-fiving me. I'm not rooting for you. I'm rooting for a great game. And
which you got.
Which I got. We've talked about this. Like, people think, who you root? Do you root for Bergen or Joe? I'm like, guys, I'm not even from, 50 miles from here. Like, I didn't know who St. Joe's and Bergen Catholic were 10 years ago, right? It doesn't mean anything to me. So they're all fired up. And then you get to the second half, and here comes Bergen. Bang, bang, bang. Touchdown, touchdown, touchdown.
35-14, a minute into the fourth quarter.
Yes.
At that point, that's when I'm putting my phone in my pocket going, wow, Joe's has got, they're going to beat Bergen. It's over.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people did that. And then Bergen Catholic reminded us why they are a blue blood elite national program.
Yes. The guys from Don Bosco, it's about 15 Don Bosco prep football players on the end zone along Ordell Avenue, and they're hooting and hollering at me to come over before Bergen goes to punch it in 35-21. So I go over to talk to those guys, and they're like, did you see this coming? And I was like, no, nobody saw this coming. They're like, man, Joe's just going to walk out of here. I'm like, you guys know better than anybody that this is not going to be an easy win. I said, there was still like 9 minutes left. Bergen scores to make it 21-35. And then the onside kick, which, look, people from Joe's were out of their minds. I didn't hear anybody from Bergen Catholic complain about the onside kick. It was a weird situation. The ball's got to go 10 yards and he can touch it, right? I do not think the ball went 10 yards. Bergen is able to recover the ball. Augie loses his mind. Everybody on the Joe's sideline is freaking out. Because
who recovered it? Because he was over the 10 yards. His whole body was, but it looked like the ball was in front of that. I agree with you.
Brian Porter popped it up, and it looked like Brian Porter popped it up, and Busso recovered it. Busso recovered it. So Austin Busso recovers the onside kick after making it a 2-touchdown game.
I feel like he stopped, dropped, and rolled over the 10.
Yeah, yes. He was like, he did it with, the right mindset. Like, where am I? I just got to make sure I land right here. And then, wouldn't you know, the next play, a 50-yard, literally, Bergen's offense.
How nice was that ball by Talia Ferry?
It's
gorgeous.
Just a dot. A dot. Touchdown. 35-28. Oh, my God. It's a one-score game. Touchdown, onside kick, touchdown. And then Bergen on 4th and 3 at the 30-yard touchdown to Brian Porter, 35-35.
How good was that play call? He was wide open.
He was wide open. I mean, people talk about him as being like a Deebo Samuel type player,
right.
And that's really what he is. I mean, he's just like, he's so good after the catch. He's so good at breaking tackles and getting open. And you get him in space, forget about it. I mean, he's so tough to tackle and bring down. Then it goes to overtime. You know what makes these games so great is, and we talk about, they're kids and all that stuff, but it's great sportsmanship.
Yeah, at the beginning of OT.
At beginning of overtime, Vito comes out. He's laughing and smiling. Augie comes out. He's laughing and smiling. The kids all know each other. It's not like these two random teams. These guys have all known each other for 10 years.
Right.
I mean, it's just the reality. They're all come from the same leagues and same NYF areas and all that stuff.
And that's why it's one of the best leagues in the country.
Yes.
Honestly, it's that mindset. You've got elite coaching.
Yes.
And they play the game the right way. They play hard. They are so passionate. But the mutual respect for every program up and down, that's why this is the place you want to play if you're a New Jersey high school football player.
It's so much fun. And that was like after both teams are going to war for 4 quarters, they come out, they're hugging. Vito puts his arm around Christian Alvarez and taps him on the back of the head and says, hey, man, you're playing great today. And it's stuff like that where it's like, man, they're more alike than they are against each other, right? They're more similar than they are opposite, I guess is the way I'm trying to put it. And that sets the stage for overtime. Second time in 2 years, Bergen Joe's goes to overtime. And it's in the same end zone. So I'm walk down to the back end zone. I'm having flashbacks of last year's game. Najee Calhoun, game-winning touchdown. Calhoun punches in the touchdown to make it 42-35. Joe's had some personnel issues getting substitutions in and out there. So at face value, immediately you're like, oh, Joe's is in major trouble here. They can't even get 11 guys on the field. And so there's Bergen just says, okay, we're just going to run the ball. Bang, 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 touchdown. Joe's goes, I have to say this. Mason Geis, stone cold. Stone cold. And I should have opened with this. This kid deserves a ton of respect and a ton more attention for what he did, because an incredible performance, the game of his life against one of the toughest opponents you could draw up. Shout out Mason Geis.
Let's put this in the right perspective.
Yes.
And think about what this kid had to go through. He's QB2 in August at St. Joe's Montvale. It would be so easy to coast and to just maybe do a little woe is me. I'm not the starter. my high school career's not really going to be defined other than a couple of little moments here and there. It could have been so easy for him to shut down mentally, to shut down in the effort department. Yet this kid made a decision to say, hey, I'm going to be ready no matter what the circumstances are. Lamar Best suffers an injury, and now Mason Geist gets his chance. And then now you look at him, and it's a testament to the quality of play in that league that backup quarterback comes in. Was he 21 of 24?
19 of 23,
Okay.
I think it was. I mean, look, he missed.
Yeah,
we got it right here. 19 of 23.
19 of 23.
He had 4 incompletions and 4 touchdowns. That's how good he played. That's insane.
But for him to have that ability, because if in August he might have just said, hey, I'm just going to be riding this thing out here.
Right.
I'm going to be holding the clipboard. I'm going to help the team.
Playing blowouts. Yeah.
Right. And now he just inserted himself and again, if you're a college, forget about the game. The ability to be dedicated to the team and your teammates and your program when not everything is going well. When you're, real easy to be all pro team when you're the guy.
For sure.
How much respect can you? I mean, the respect you have. Looking at his offers here,
I think he's got one offer right now. He has 2 offers.
Wofford.
Mason Geist has an offer from Marshall and an offer from Wofford, back in your old
South Carolina. That's a great academic school, by the way. The Terriers.
You can't tell me that this kid's not a D1 quarterback. Like you watch this and you're
Well,
like,
he is now.
oh my gosh.
Pop, check out the film.
Yes, we said it last week about Logan Montaigne, right? Like, you got to watch the film in the big-time games. Mason Geist delivered. So a shout-out to him, because it doesn't happen without a good, solid quarterback, right? You need that guy to get the ball to the playmakers. He threw an incredible ball to Stalin Nolden to make it 35-14 Joes. I mean, just incredible ball. Touchdown, bang. They're up by 3 scores. He throws a ball to the corner of the end zone to make it 42-41. And here comes the decision. I don't think Augie wanted his defense to go back out there again. I think he said, let's just go win this.
Right.
Let's just go win
You're
this.
on the road? Absolutely.
On the road at Bergen, down by 1. And Augie has so much faith in Nate Bailey. I have never heard a coach talk so glowingly about a player on his own team than Augie talks about Nate. I mean, Nate is such a great kid. He's got the right attitude. It's just the kid you would really want to build a high school football team around. And look, he says, in the post game, he tells me, I just wanted the ball in the best player's hands.
Mission accomplished.
Nate Bailey went through 3 tacklers. I mean, that's a little kid. He's not the biggest kid on the field. I almost called you a little kid, Nate. I'm going to take that back. That's not accurate.
He broke the plane by that much.
He got in.
He got in.
He got in. He broke 3 tackles. Gets through 3 guys to get the ball over the plane. 43-42 final. I'm going to say it right now. It was the best high school football game I've ever seen.
Here's the thing that's amazing is the twists and turns. It's 35-14. Bergen goes up 42-35.
Yeah, 28 unanswered.
The wheels are off. There's chaos on the Joe side. You talked about some of the problems they were having in overtime. The script was written for an epic collapse, which would go to the tough loss with Bosco, the tough loss to Peters. The whole thing was written to be a epic Joe's collapse. It would have been everything everyone talked about. From going up 35-14 to being down 42-35 has got to get into your head.
Oh, my gosh, yes.
Somehow, some way, those kids at Joe's stuck together and were able to score a win like that is a side of mental toughness that is going to go an awful long way beyond the football field. And a credit to Augie Hoffman and his staff, because it really, they could have let it get away. They figured out a way to recover from an absolutely epic Bergen Catholic comeback. And that's why this is one of the best games in JSZ history.
For sure.
And, 9 minutes of highlights. I texted Jay, do I need to DoorDash you Red Bull, Chick-fil-A? What do you need? I'm here for you because I knew, if it was if Joe's had won that game 28-7, Jay's got a little bit of Saturday night ahead of him. He can sit back, enjoy some time with the family.
Sure.
But I said, oh man, Jay's got a long night ahead of him.
That Panera on Route 17 is a blessing. I just have to say that right now. Thank you for whoever built that Panera right there, like 5 minutes down the road from Bergen, because first off, there's no cell service at Bergen Catholic.
No.
Unless you go to like a JV soccer game where there's like nobody in the stands. Like, it's just, you get over 200 people there and there's no cell service. So when there's like, I don't know, 2,000 or 3,000 people there on a Saturday afternoon, nobody's tweets are sending, nobody's videos are posting. I got to zip down the road. I'm editing on the road, get that social media post up as quickly as I possibly can. And look, the numbers don't lie. It did great on all of our social media channels. It was an incredible moment. I saw one of the McCourty brothers posted it on their Instagram too, which was really cool. Those guys are St. Joe's graduates, so shout out to the McCourtys for giving us a little help there. That was awesome. And look, when you talk about incredible moments, incredible games, incredible players, this kind of just exemplified that. So it was awesome.
And now Jay makes a good call from his offensive coordinator post. He starts to fall down the rabbit hole. What are the best games in JSC history?
Yeah.
So when we come back, we're going to fall down that rabbit hole, and maybe we'll try and jog our head for even a couple of more.
Yeah.
But we've got this one is right up there, and we'll take a little trip down memory lane when we return on the Beyond the Score podcast.
Dream big, they say. We say dream bigger. Over 3 million square feet of bigger, so you can plunge deeper, play in the snow longer, wonder greater, pose with your friends sillier, shop with your family happier, make every meal tastier, and float higher than ever. Whatever your dream is, come live it big time at American Dream.
It's time for another Blast from the Past, brought to you by the Heldridge, New Brunswick's only 4-star hotel.
Hey everyone, I'm James Mooney. St. Joe's Montvale won a Game of the Year candidate with Bergen Catholic over the weekend. Jay Cook takes us back to 2019, to the last time the Green Knights bested the Crusaders, led by former Zoman Trophy winner Audric Estime.
Joes will then turn around and start running with the Estime Express. Junior star running back Audric Estime breaks through this Bergen Catholic defense and takes it to the house. 52 yards on the run. St. Joe's leads 7-0 after 1. They're backed up to punt out of their own end zone. It gets partially blocked there. Still some air. And Shane Stewart picks it up off the bounce. On the return, takes the Green Knights down to the Bergen Catholic 15-yard line. And St. Joe's Montvale takes advantage of the short field position. Who else but Audric Estime? His second score of the day helps Joes take the lead. It's 14-10, 5 minutes left in the third quarter.
Blast from the Past is brought to you by the Heldridge, New Brunswick's only 4-star hotel and a preferred hotel of Rutgers football fans since 2005. The Heldridge helps you make the most of your game day weekend, providing premium accommodations in the cultural heart of downtown New Brunswick. Restaurants, bars, theaters, parks, museums, and more are only steps away. Whether you're traveling alone or with a large group, book your stay at the Heldridge and make the most of your game day weekend.
Welcome back to the Beyond the Score podcast, episode 9. Rich, I'm editing this Joe's Bergen game, and my phone's going off in the background, and I had like 3 different people text me and say, was that the best game that you've ever seen? And I sat there and I was like, it's got to be in the top 5. I think it's in the top 5.
Keep in mind, you're shooting, I always say 6.5 days a week.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Yeah.
Sundays are usually a chill day, but somehow, some way, we find ourselves shooting every once in a while.
In a couple Sundays, we're going to be shooting.
Yeah, soccer state finals.
Soccer state finals.
Right. So you shoot a lot of games. So
yeah,
it's interesting. And it's funny because when we talked about it, I was like going into the mindset of just thinking about football. And then you start, because I was like, wow, if we're going to open this Pandora's box of we're going to get into everything, and we opened the box.
We did, yeah. It's wide open right now. I mean, we did our prep for the podcast, and then we're like going through everything, and it's like, oh my God, what about that game? And what about that game? And
so Bergen Joe's is in the in the clubhouse.
It's in the Jay Cook top 5, yes,
without question. So do you want to go? We'll just do a little back and forth here.
Let's go, let's do that.
And if you're listening to the podcast, just remember we're going to show you the video of these things because it's a lot of fun to see. The visual of it is awesome. So make sure you check out our YouTube of the podcast because you'll see these incredible things that we've witnessed here in year 9 now of covering the entire state.
For sure. And on our YouTube library, the full games as well.
That's right.
I mean, you can even go back and relive some of these yourself. Football, for me, the one that popped into my head immediately. Look, I do the non-public A final, non-public Group 4 final every year. Rich Hansen's last state championship at St. Peter's Prep just popped into my head right now. He went for 2 late over at Bosco, and then Avery Powell had the blocked field goal return for a touchdown. Oh my God, how did I leave that out? I just talked myself into it. But I think the best football game outside of Joe's Bergen was Northern Highlands Ramapo, November 2022, sectional final.
The night the lights went out?
The night the lights went out in Franklin Lakes. Yeah. The lights out game is what this has become known as. An incredible showing between Northern Highlands and Ramapo, back and forth game. I mean, you just a heavyweight showdown, 2 incredible rivals. The clock hits 9 and the lights go out on the field. Somebody forgot to turn off the timer from the night before. This is what happened. The blame has been put on 9 different people over the years of who didn't turn the timer off at the field. And the lights go out at 9. The game stops. 20 minutes. These are enormous lights. They've got to take time to spool up and turn back on. So the lights go out. They got to, go underground and flip the switch and turn it back on. They come back on. We go into the game. They go out again. Twice in the same game. The lights go out again. It's just pandemonium. You've got flashlights in the stands from the kids, all this stuff. Meanwhile, you've got a game that goes to overtime. Shootout. 42-42 going into overtime. Highlands wins 49-42. Zach Chistaka with a forced fumble as Ramapo's going in to tie the game. Roman Dario falls on it, and Highlands wins the sectional championship. An all-time great game.
Okay, so mine was a pretty easy one to go.
Oh, my gosh, yes.
I'm at Rutgers. East Orange Clifton. Is it 21? I'm just going to double check my date. 2021. This is pre-state championship. This was a regional final, so it was the final game. We're in triple overtime, 24-24. You have to go for 2. Clifton's going for 2 in the win. They get the ball over, and Ahmad Knowles picks it up and goes 100 yards. P.S., his pants fall down at about the 45-yard mark. Now, I'm in the back of the end zone, and I'm just processing this, and I've got it. I got the play. I got the steal. I got him running, and I'm just sitting there going, is his pants falling off? Yeah. And there was so much drama going on that no one paid mind to the fact that his pants fell off as he ran it back 100 yards. Now, the folks in Clifton, this is the reason, by the way, there's no more replay in New Jersey high school football playoffs. This ended it because they went and it was inconclusive. Now, I'm in the back of the end zone, so it's really hard for us to determine the plane. If you go to Clifton, everyone in town will tell you that he broke the plane, 2-point conversion, they should have won the game.
Yep.
And I don't think they've gotten over it.
No.
And then East Orange went and did it. And as far as it took so much time to deliberate that I was able to get right in on Ahmad as he's looking to find out the fate that they just win the championship. And it was one of the coolest video moments.
Oh, so good.
The ruling on the field's confirmed, and then they all go nuts.
So much fun.
How good was that?
that was the number one player of the year that year,
Yes.
wasn't it? We did the top 10 plays of the entire year.
Yeah.
That is a game that will forever be talked about in New Jersey high school sports. If we go now to, looks like we're going to step into some winter sports here.
Right.
There's been some incredible moments in the winter. We are so busy in the winter with wrestling, with ice hockey, girls ice hockey, boys and girls basketball.
Wrestling.
I've got to put it up there, the wrestling, Delbarton Blair last year. And I know I don't want to call it a recency bias or anything like that, but this was one of the best high school sporting event atmospheres I've ever seen. Credit to Delbarton. They did an awesome job. They understood the assignment. Make it feel like a college duel. And my goodness, did they do that. An awesome duel between Delbarton and Blair.
That student section was so good,
Oh,
too.
my God.
Shout out to them.
Shout out.
I just put together Cameron Sans and DeGeorge's commitments.
Yeah.
So I said, oh, I got to watch this again. I was like, you're trying to get your work done. You're trying to get this cranked out. And I was like, I got to watch this whole entire thing.
It was awesome. It was just so good. So many talented wrestlers. Blair had always beaten Delbarton. They have dominated this duel. I mean, look, in recent years, Delbarton has taken that step up to a national level program. But, 10 years ago, they were not. They've had some guys. But from, all 13 spots on the roster, they didn't have that deep of a lineup. Now they do. They go out at their home field, at their home, beat Blair Academy. It's coming down to the last match. Augie Mosier, heavyweight, wins by decision. And, I think it was, I said in the highlights, it was the mosh pit. I called it the Mosier pit because he dove in like it was the greatest. And he said, he goes, winning a state championship wouldn't feel as good as this. And I was just like, man, that's some perspective. So that's one of my top 5 games of all time and my top wrestling moment.
So I'm going to give you my wrestling, which was Jay has a wrestling background. I don't.
Very minor. I was a JV wrestler, but very minor.
But you knew the sport. And
Yes.
I always leaned on Jay and our former colleague, the great Ken Bradley.
Yeah.
Taught me a lot, and so I can sound like I know what I'm talking about when I go to wrestling. Back in 2016, I might have just met you. Shore Sports Zone.
Yeah.
And all I was worried about, I said, I think I'm going to go to Atlantic City. There's a couple of guys from the Shore who are wrestling for state championships. I walked in there, and my mind was blown. I did not expect the spectacle, which I think is one of the greatest high school sports venues in the country, which is that first Saturday in AC, one mat, 2 people, and they're squaring off 10,000 people. And I'm there for Sebastian Rivera from CBA against Patrick Glory from Delbarton. Did I know at the time that I was watching an Olympic bronze medalist for Puerto Rico against an NCAA champion? No. Did I figure out just the raw sports of, a scoreboard that Glory's kind of in control for most of the 6 minutes? He's up 5-3, 42 seconds to go. Rivera gets a 2 to tie it at 5. And then in the final seconds, he gets a pinfall to win the state championship. It was unbelievable. It's one of our most viewed individual matches on JerseySportsZone.com. And I left Atlantic City going, we need to start doing some more wrestling stuff.
Yeah.
And fast forward, we have every person on our team in Atlantic City.
Yeah.
And thanks to you and your leadership of picking these big duels, saying, hey, they got this little team up there in Blair Academy that's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
And Blair Sem and all these things. That moment was a big moment for me because it opened my eyes to the respect and the passion of wrestling in this state. And, the rest is history.
Yeah. People always ask us, what's your biggest sport? And it's wrestling.
Number one.
Unequivocally, it's wrestling. So shout out to the New Jersey high school wrestlers. That's incredible.
Now we got to go to the Rock, right?
Yeah, we'll go to the Rock. Look, I've been to some big boy hockey games.
Gordon.
Gordon.
A lot of Gordon games.
How many Gordons? How many state championships? How many county championships that you go to throughout the year? But the one that stood out was Governor Livingston against Woodbridge Township, December 2023, the Public C State Final, the longest state championship game in New Jersey history, quadruple overtime. I have never seen so many kids so tired while playing a game than this game. At the end of triple overtime, I mean, everybody in the media is just like, who's going to win this? These kids can't even skate anymore. Like, the tanks are emptied. They got emptied after the first overtime. They had to play 2 full overtimes more. Jeremy Sixnius for Governor Livingston, defenseman. Pass goes to him on the boards. And look, was it a throw on net? Was it a light shot? He got it where it needed to go. It got through, and GL won the Public C State Championship that year, a quadruple overtime game. That was something else.
I don't know if I've ever told you this story, this backstory to that. So we have this awesome relationship with the Devils, and every month we go out there and put the top goals.
Yeah.
And I think it was one of the Livingston goals was one of our top 5. And so we're there, and Kevin Fox, who does an awesome job with the Devils, we were talking about it, and the next day after the States, the Devils played the Maple Leafs.
Okay.
Toronto's in town. Now, right next to the Rock is the practice arena, right there.
Yeah.
And so the Maple Leafs had their morning skate, and a few of the guys from the Maple Leafs heard what was going on and were like watching the third and fourth overtime. They said a bunch of the Leafs were like, these guys, they can relate because it's like a Stanley Cup playoff hockey.
My God.
So the story was that the Maple Leafs were well aware of they had a morning skate, and some of the guys, instead of going to a hotel and taking a nap, were peering in and watching the Governor Livingston game.
Oh my God.
How cool is that?
I love that. That makes it even better.
There you go.
That makes it even better. What's your next game? I mean, we've got a wide open list here.
Okay, I got to go basketball, which is, I think the number 1 basketball game we ever shot, non-public B State Championship in Toms River at RWJ Barnabas Arena, Roselle Catholic against Ranny. And this just simply became Naz Reid versus Scotty Lewis and Brian Antoine.
Yeah.
Naz Reid's a senior. Scotty and Brian, I believe, are sophomores. And young Ranny had Roselle on the ropes, and this beast awakened. This guy who has now been the NBA Sixth Man of the Year, who has a gigantic, well-earned contract for the Minnesota Timberwolves. It was like they woke up Godzilla, and Naz Reid said, I'm going to show you what it's like to be an NBA player. And he took over this incredible game.
How about that alley-oop?
Whew.
I mean, I thought he was going to shack that thing and break the rim.
We shot multiple angles of it, which we rarely do.
Yeah, I was underneath. You were shooting for the stands, right? And we had like 3 angles of this thing.
Because we knew that game was so special, I said, because you were shooting the next game, I believe.
Yeah.
And I just said, go on the other side. So this epic alley-oop, we have more angles of it than we have anything. It's like, wow, this would be nice if we had 2 or 3 cameras at every game.
Yeah.
But that's right. You were there for that Naz alley-oop. And again, I think that it showed what Naz Reid was about to become. He is an absolute specimen. His outside shooting prowess now in the NBA, we saw that a little bit in this game.
Yeah.
And it really was an all-time classic. It was just everybody there was just like we were watching, so much great talent on the floor. But that's what we always. It's the Naz versus Scotty and Brian game.
That's exactly it. You don't even have to name the teams.
Exactly.
Naz versus Scotty and Brian.
Yeah.
Boy, we rack our heads around basketball. I think the one that stands out for me was the last Tournament of Champions final in New Jersey history. And I know people in the basketball world are, so saddened that we don't have the TOC anymore because well, imagine we had it with Harper and some of the guys that
Right.
never got to play or win a possible TOC. But it's March 2022, Jersey Mike's Arena on the campus of Rutgers University, Camden, Roselle Catholic. Just a heavyweight battle. They played earlier that season in the season opener, opened down at Camden.
Right.
Remember ESPN kicked Mike Frankel out?
Yeah, we couldn't shoot that game. Thanks, ESPN.
We got kicked out.
I'll remember that the next time they need video from us. Got me all fired up now.
Sorry. So, my goodness. We go down to Rutgers. Look, Rasheer Fleming, out of all these guys on the court, it's Rasheer Fleming who is the first kid drafted. So credit to him. I mean, at the time, he was like the 7th best player on the floor. And we had DJ Wagner. You had Simeon Wilcher. Mackenzie Mbako was on the court. I mean, it was one of these games where back and forth, changes in momentum, just great run, so much energy. It was that good of a game. Roselle Catholic won in overtime. And Coach Dave Balfe, who's now with College Achieve, Asbury Park, we had a great relationship with him.
He's a great guy.
He's A+ guy. They're like keeping all the media away from the locker room, and he was just like, come on. And so I was able to get into the locker room for that championship celebration, and just such an awesome scene, an incredible moment. And Roselle Catholic won the last Tournament of Champions title in an all-time great game.
All right, let's talk a little girls basketball. It's not you or me. We're gonna go to the great Mike Frankel.
Yes.
Mike shot a game in South Jersey that if you look at the headlines today, it's really relevant.
For sure.
It's Paul VI against St. John Vianney. This is Zoe Brooks, and now at North Carolina State, Hannah Hidalgo at Notre Dame. Hannah Hidalgo, I would think many people would say is the best player in America right now.
Yes, got to be up there.
Zoe Brooks has played in a Final Four for NC State. They're saying, I saw on ESPN the preseason player of the year, Hannah Hidalgo. Second, Zoe Brooks. Zoe Brooks had a torn meniscus. She was really banged up.
Yeah, she was hurt.
She was not in. She really should have shut it down, and it was hurt so bad that she couldn't play in the next game, which St. John Vianney lost in the state finals.
That's right.
That was a sectional final. But those two went head-to-head, and Zoe Brooks, on one leg, hits a buzzer beater to beat Hannah Hidalgo and Paul VI.
Oh.
Now, the funny story here is one of my close friends from St. Bonaventure, Charlie Cream, is the bracketologist for ESPN women's basketball. He is one of the biggest names in women's college basketball media, and he jokes with me as I always am nudging him, hey, you got to check out this Olivia Miles girl. You got to check out this Hannah Hidalgo girl. And he thought that Hannah Hidalgo was Miss Hoop Zone, but the fact is that they went head-to-head, Hannah versus Zoe, and I think in large part because of that buzzer beater, Zoe Brooks was our player of the year, with Hannah Hidalgo finishing in second. My friend Chuck likes to tease me like, wow, you guys really got that wrong. Here's Hannah Hidalgo. I can't believe she didn't win Miss Hoop Zone in New Jersey. And she might win the National Player of the Year.
She might. But the coaches also decided that too.
That's all I say.
We picked the finalists. The coaches picked the winner. So the consensus around New Jersey was that Zoe was the Player of the Year.
It was that game. They went head-to-head. They both played great. And I think Zoe hurt. Zoe hitting the buzzer beater is why she won Player of the Year. And look, they're both two of the best players in America. So I think that's our number one girls game. So how about we do one more? You got one more, don't you?
I've got one more. Yeah. Look, lacrosse is such a fun sport. It really is. And we've had some great games over the years. And
shooting some of the best players in the country. CJ Kirst.
Yeah, I was there for CJ Kirst's junior year before COVID shut down his senior year. We got to know CJ. Some of these guys. It is the second. I do have 2 Delbarton games on here, so credit to the Green Wave. But Delbarton, Seton Hall Prep, lacrosse, the non-public A state championship in 2023. I believe this was at like East Brunswick High School, of all places, right?
Neutral, yep.
Neutral site. Okay, let's see what happens. 2 incredible student sections out there getting ready for an awesome game. Nick Facone in triple overtime goes off the draw. Fogo wins the draw, and Nick Facone, a great hockey player in his own right, too.
Oh, yeah.
On that Delbarton top line. He wins off the draw, goes right down the field, shoots, scores after 2 really tough overtime periods, wins within the first 10 seconds of triple overtime. And, there were so many lead changes in that game, so many changes in momentum. It was a lot of fun, that game. And, that of all the spring sports for me, that is definitely one of the games that sticks out in my mind. An incredible triple overtime game. Delbarton beating Seton Hall Prep.
So I'd like to thank St. Joe's Montvale and Bergen Catholic for
Yeah.
sparking us to fall down this wonderful rabbit hole. And as Jay said, not only can you kind of look back on the memories that we have here that we show on the podcast, but all those games are right there. And you even just kind of go to our main YouTube page and you'll see
A lot of them are right there.
Most of them are right there because they're some of the all-time great games. And that's what's so funny when you try and figure out, hey, what gets good traffic? An unbelievable game will always get us good traffic. So when we come back, let's get ready.
Mm-hmm.
We'll dive into some brackets.
Well, let's do it. Let's take a look.
High school football playoff previews coming up when we return.
It's really nice to be in a situation, in a place where there are very good people who take good care of people.
Orthopedics is it's not about saving lives, it's about saving quality of life.
A lot of people, we live high stress lives, so if you tell someone they can't do something for whatever reason, that's pretty traumatic.
I really take pride in trying to be empathetic and trying to put myself in every patient's shoes.
I want to take care of people like I'd want to take care of my family. And I think that when you do that and give somebody that family feeling and give them your honest opinion for what you would do, they value that.
No one plans on heart disease, but everyone should have a plan for it. We help patients of all lifestyles and medical histories plan for healthy hearts. We offer convenient screenings without judgment, hundreds of preventive programs, and women's heart specialists. And we're the largest cardiac surgery program in New Jersey. Make plans for a healthy heart with RWJ Barnabas Health. Let's be healthy together.
You're there for them. We're here for you. Get back the life you love.
Welcome back to Beyond the Score. The brackets are out for the public schools. The road to Rutgers and MetLife officially gets started this weekend. A reminder that the non-public has one more week of regular season football. I think it's all about St. Peter's Don Bosco will play and sort it out. And then, I think they're going to need a couple of hours in that committee room to figure out the seating, which is going to be fun.
I want to be in there.
I know.
Somebody just shoot me a text and tell me where I need to go.
Yeah.
What diner do I need to go sit and
We'll
listen
chime
to?
in.
Yeah.
We'll just give you our 2 cents.
That's it.
But yeah, that's going to be awesome. But that's non-public. We'll dive into that next week. But now the brackets are out. I mean, what's your first reaction? Look, you're covering the north part of the state. I'm a shore guy. We got James and Tyler down in the south part of the state, so we all come at it in a bunch of different ways.
Yeah, look, when I looked at my first kind of big takeaway was, what's the toughest bracket to win? And I looked through, and the 2 that stood out to me. I just shot this game on Friday night. Ramapo Northern Highlands. Ramapo won convincingly. It was a 1 touchdown game at the end, but they played a really, really good game. So Ramapo is the number 1 seed in North 1, Group 4. Northern Highlands, the number 2 seed. So these 2 teams are on a crash course to potentially play in another sectional championship game, which has happened for the last 7 years. It's just it's every year. Mount Olive.
That's the team that I wonder if they could throw a monkey wrench in this deal.
Oh, yeah. Dang right they could. I mean, Mount Olive's a really good team. They did lose to, West Morris last week, but Mount Olive is still 7-1. They've had a great year. So Mount Olive is the 3 seed in North 1 Group 4. And then, look, it hasn't been that good of a year for Morris Knolls. They get into the playoffs as a 7 seed. But last year, they were the 1 seed in this section. And, they hosted a sectional final. So Morris Knolls coming in at 7 is another team that could potentially upset the apple cart. So this is definitely one of the toughest brackets in my mind. It's so deep here. You've got Hackensack going up against Ramapo in the first game. These two teams have played already this season, so Ramapo looks like they should have a ticket to the next round. Chatham-Wayne Valley, a 4-5 matchup. I mean, I don't know how you parse that one out. I mean, somebody is going to win a war to go on the road to Ramapo.
I've seen Chatham a couple times.
And I've seen Wayne Valley. So
that's a great ball game.
It's an awesome game. So I look at North 1 Group 4 as definitely one of the toughest.
Let me throw in North 2 Group 4. And
Yeah.
this is what's intriguing to me.
Yeah.
Peaburg 1 seed.
For sure.
We know they're awesome. Rahway is the 7 seed.
That's a dangerous 7 seed.
Rahway just beat Montgomery, who's the 3 seed. So you've got Rahway at Woodbridge this week. Rahway's just coming off a big win over Montgomery. Montgomery beat Sayreville. I think the reason they're the 3 seed is because they got that win over Sayreville. So I find this bracket very interesting. Ridge is a 4 seed. Ridge is always hanging around.
Very tough.
Every couple years, they seem to run into Peaburg and maybe put a scare into them. So I find that bracket just absolutely fascinating. Colonia Ridge is a great game. Westfield at Montgomery. Do you have Rahway? If Rahway can upset Woodbridge, do you have Rahway Montgomery again?
That'd be fun. That'd be really interesting.
So we're going to Rahway Woodbridge.
Yes.
Because I feel like that Rahway, they could be a bracket buster.
For sure. Absolutely. That's a really tough team. So look, we've got that one circled. Another bracket that when I looked at, I said, oh boy, this is a tough one. North 1, Group 2. Let's lay it out for you. Westwood, who won that miraculous state championship a couple years ago against Rumson. They're the top seed in North 1, too. Ramsey is the 3 seed. You've got Caldwell, who beat Westwood this year. Caldwell is a 4 seed.
Wow.
Caldwell beat Westwood this year.
So we could see that again.
That would be
1 versus 4?
That would be the next game after this weekend. So if Caldwell, I believe Caldwell plays Dumont, if I'm not mistaken. And then you've got... Yep, it's Caldwell hosting Dumont. You've got Westwood hosting Newton. So you could have Caldwell-Westwood in 2 weeks. The other team who is not in that area but is way further out is High Point. They don't play any of these teams in the Super Football Conference. But High Point's a 6 seed. Jerron Martris, this kid might have almost 40 touchdowns over the last 2 years for High Point. Really, really tough running back. He's going to take the Wildcats on the road to Ramsey. And we've seen Ramsey win a couple wild games this year. So that 6-3 matchup is fascinating. This is a really tough bracket. So, look, I know Caldwell is battle-tested. Westwood's a really good team. Ramsey's tough. This is going to be a fun bracket.
From a Shore Conference perspective, start with Central Group 4 as potential to have an all-shore flavor. Brick Memorial, the 1 seed. We had our guy Jason Lahara on the pod a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
Tremendous quarterback. Manalapan's the 2 seed. Coach Lepore has done a great job with those kids. They've got a good trigger man, Desfasi. I think one of the biggest surprises of the year, Red Bank Regional coach TK.
Yeah.
They got home cooking. I can't think of the last time RBR had a home playoff game. And then, oh, by the way, how about we just have the Battle of Middletown? South against North in the playoffs, and then awkwardly 2 weeks from now they'll play again on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, which game means more? Which one means more?
I think
because I'm going to go to the game on Friday night, and I'm very curious to see. It's on Halloween,
right?
So
you know this as a Middletown South grad better than anyone, that South has absolutely dominated the crosstown rivalry to the point where you can count on one hand. The record is 30-something and 3. Yes. So for North, anytime you have a chance to beat South,
you got to do it.
And they have to get that monkey off their back, because last year on Thanksgiving, they were heavily favored and they lost.
Yeah.
South has it in their DNA. They were born to beat Middletown North. And so now North has a home playoff game. They've got Owen Robeson. They've got Jack Viola.
They got some guys.
They've got some guys. Is this the year it happens? That's why you're going.
Yeah, I'm fascinated.
You're going because it's going to be interesting. But you have a potential there of an all-shore thing. Then I'll go down to Group 2, which is, I think a real – I'll start with 3. The game I think we all want to see, bracket-wise, how about can we get Somerville-Holmdel sectional championship?
Let's book it right now.
Sign me up for that.
Oh, my goodness. That would be awesome.
For Holmdel, they've never won a section title. It's all Jack Cannon has all these numbers, all these touchdowns. All he wants to do is bring Holmdel a section title. And they got to take care of Cinnaminson, then either Hopewell Valley or Neptune. But I think we could see a Somerville-Holmdel section final. And then you go to Group 2, where Rumson-Fairhaven is a 3 seed. They're trying to find themselves. Kellen Murray will get back into the lineup. They are the defending state champs. Can they turn the switch on? They're playing Point Pleasant Borough. I joked, I think they've played 7 times in the last 2 years. So they played in week 0. Rumson won with Kellen Murray. Point Burrows had to beat Toms River North to get into the playoffs. So we're looking at maybe RFH Wall and the winner going to Camden. That's a very interesting bracket from a shore perspective. And then the 3-time defending Group 5 state champs, Toms River North. Young, they got to go on the road to Cherry Hill East. Then they would have to go and win in Atlantic City. So does Coach Oz, they're still the champs. They're still the champs until Friday night. And what's going to happen there?
It's going to be tough. We talked to our South Jersey guys, James Mooney, Tyler Mraz today. Look, South Jersey's got some heavy favorites. Winslow is a heavy favorite.
Washington Township
in Group 5 is a heavy favorite. These are teams that you are going to see stack up a lot of dubs here and kind of work their way into sectional finals in a pretty straightforward fashion. The other one, Glassboro in Group 1. Forget about it. I mean, I would love to see a Glassboro-Butler state final. I think that would be a lot of fun. Butler's a really tough team, but Glassboro's a different animal. So
those are 3 South Jersey juggernauts we just mentioned.
So these are teams that have complete control of their brackets right now. And if for something to happen and those teams not win sections, we would be stunned. And
one of us would fall off a chair.
Yes. So if you were wondering why we're not breaking down the South Jerseys, because they've got teams that are like odds-on favorites to get to Rutgers and MetLife. Heavy, heavy favorites. The one bracket that I'm looking at and saying this is completely wide open, just an absolute doozy, North 1 Group 5, North 2 Group 5. However this state semifinal plays out, I wouldn't be shocked to see any of these teams come out. North 1 Group 5, the top seeds, West Orange, Passaic Tech, East Orange, and Livingston. Livingston's got a kid, Abel Paul, who just ran for 500 yards and 7 touchdowns last week.
We have to say that again. Not for the season.
Yeah.
Not for the month.
In a game.
In one game. 522 yards rushing for Abel Paul.
Abel Paul.
He rushes.
His name to Abel
he
Rush.
rushes so much. I just changed his name to Abel Rush. You're right. Because I said his name wrong because the 522 is melting my brain. It's melting my brain.
An incredible performance. I mean, he has single-handedly put Livingston on the playoff map. And if Livingston beats Ridgewood and Passaic and West Orange beats Passaic, you're going to have West Orange and Livingston meet again. I saw that game about a month and a half ago. Abel Paul played really well, so you got potential there. North 2 Group 5 is fascinating to me. And I'll just break it down real quick because we have to hit a break. Bridgewater Raritan was able to secure the top seed in North 2-5. Piscataway is really starting to come on now. This is a really tough team. Elizabeth, my guy Arik Fleming, one of my favorite quarterbacks in the entire state.
I love him.
They've got a really athletic, really talented team. That kid can throw the ball a mile. Elizabeth is a really dangerous 3 seed. And Union City, it has not been the dream season that Union City's had in years past where they've won 10, 11, 12 games. Union City did come out of Group 5 last year as the team from the North. They won a sectional title. They won a state semifinal. Union City's the 4 seed. So that's a really, really dangerous 4 seed.
Any of those 4 could be standing at the end.
Yes. It's wide open in North Group 5, potentially to, go up against a Washington Township. So buckle up. These are just some of our favorites. This whole playoff bracket watching is so much fun. It's going to be really enjoyable.
And thank you, NJSIAA, for letting us play this thing through. And we're going to have 5 public school state champions.
Oh, yeah.
It's so good. The way it's set up, they got it right. And now we've got it's hard to win a state title in New Jersey. You don't just get to play 2-3 games and call it good.
It's difficult.
And we're going to be there every step of the way. We're going to get to as many games as we can. We just spent an hour and a half before we jumped on the pod figuring out where we're going.
Yeah.
And we'll have all the highlights here on jerseysportszone.com. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back. ACI Medical and Dental School in Eatontown is celebrating 20 years of new beginnings and 20 years of new careers. Start your new career as a medical or dental assistant in less than 4 months. From a talented faculty and staff to state-of-the-art equipment and training, ACI's medical and dental training programs are designed to help students succeed. Registration is open for day and evening classes. Visit aci.edu to begin your healthcare journey. A lot of talk about football as the playoffs are here. We've got a little bit of business to take care of in soccer as far as conference championships go this week, but we had a great wave of conference championship action, and the real storyline is we had a pair of 0-0 games that went to PKs, and normally our worst nightmare is 0-0.
Oh, my goodness.
It's the worst, but at this time of the year, give us a little PK drama, it winds up working out real well for us. So James Moody was at the Somerset girls final, Rutgers Prep, #1 in the country, Pingree nationally ranked, 100 minutes of scoreless soccer. Rutgers Prep figures out a way to win.
Look, Coach Buchanan over there at Rutgers Prep has just done a really good job of keeping these kids locked in. Watching James' highlights, there's a lot of close calls, right? A lot of shots, a lot of posts. Pingree had chances, Rutgers Prep had chances, and that's what makes this. It's really becoming a rivalry now because Pingree's been awesome the last couple of years. Rutgers Prep is still the #1 team in the country as well. But, look, the Argonauts just continue to find ways to win when they are in pressure spots. So congratulations to them. This is odds for sure. The #1 girls soccer team in the country. That's what the coaches around the country have determined. And until somebody knocks them off, they're going to continue holding that mantle. So congratulations to them.
I was at the shore final, little doubleheader. I want to shout out the Manalapan girls. First short title since 1988.
Whoa.
As Olivia Ziobro said, I wasn't even born when the last time we won.
I wasn't either.
Sadly, I was. So it was my senior year of high school.
Okay.
Was the last time I'm an 88 grad. So
there you go.
The last time Manalapan won, I was a senior in high school. 3-1 win. That Manalapan team is undefeated. They're 10th in the state. They might need to be ranked a little bit higher. They're a very good team. But we go to the guys' game. Colts Neck against Middletown South. Middletown South stunned CBA in the semis. CBA was the heavy favorite. This was supposed to be a CBA Colts Neck final. And then Mid-South had the challenge of pulling off a second upset. Colts Neck had a lot of chances in the first half. They had a goal taken off the board. Goalie had his hands on it, Carson Perry. They hit the crossbar. They hit the post. And then things settled down. You get to PKs. And then it just becomes the personality of the goalies. Middletown South had so much energy and adrenaline, Jay. The first two guys for South to win in PKs, they kicked it like 90 yards into the woods. They airmailed it. And I said, wow. I said, they're so jacked up that, and so Carson Perry makes his first save on Sean Moore, who's one of the best players in the state, unequivocally.
By far.
He guesses the right way, makes the stop, and all of a sudden it gets towards the end. South Mason Petke hits this. He just hit this chip where it's like, you talk about guts. It's like he just hit this chip. It was just like it floated in and goalie went the other way. We go to extra rounds, 7th round. Perry makes the save. Luke Strada, great player, buries the game winner. South Nation's out of their mind. Fence goes down. We can laugh and joke around about it because nobody got hurt. And those kids, you know, to their credit, they didn't go. They could have went and trampled onto the field. They pulled back.
Sure.
Great moment for Middletown South. First ever short conference boys soccer championship.
Wow.
And they didn't luck into it. They beat CBA and Colts Neck back-to-back games, and they're on top of the mountain and the shore, and all of a sudden they're a dangerous team when the playoffs start here in about a week.
Look, and if you weren't, jacked up enough over some of these conference championship games, we've got a whole boatload more this week. Tuesday night, Hudson County Championship.
Red Bulls.
At Red Bulls. Boys and girls, back-to-back games, going to be a lot of fun. Thursday, Essex Boys and Girls Finals. That's St. Benedict's Prep is the odds-on favorite to get to the final. You've got
GMC Thursday.
GMC on Thursday. Thank you very much. At Piscataway, we've got another great set of games. On Saturday, get ready for this. We've got the Union Boys and Girls Final at Johnson High School. The Union is one of the most fun soccer tournaments in the entire state. Every single year, you get great games, great teams. And then we are going to, on Saturday, get our first look at nationally ranked Ramsey, the Ramsey girls soccer team. They are playing Immaculate Heart at 2 o'clock, I believe, at Riverdale High School. So we are going to be there as well, checking that game out and getting our first look at nationally ranked Ramsey. So if you are interested in that and some of these other incredible games, please go over to jerseysportszone.com and check them all out. We will have all that coverage.
We're going to be busy. Football, soccer, we're loving it. And when we come back, we're going to talk about our first bonus episode of the pod.
Comprehensive, academic, and award-winning. New Jersey deserves nothing less. Learn more at rwjbh.org/US News.
All right, Jay, we've gotten into a routine here. Every Wednesday, the Beyond the Score podcast drops on everywhere you can get a podcast. It's every Wednesday morning. This is episode 9 straight Wednesdays. Every once in a while, things go our way. We can get some exciting people to talk with. We might throw a bonus episode. This is our first week of the first bonus episode of Beyond the Score. It's someone that I'm ecstatic to talk to. Jay knows very well. I'm a proud graduate of St. Bonaventure University, and Bonnies look out for each other. And who is the most famous Bonnie right now in the moment? It's my good friend Adrian Wojnarowski. Woj.
I'm speechless. I mean, this is just so cool. It's so awesome, and you worked your connections there, and bringing him on the podcast, it's going to be a lot of fun.
So everyone knows Woj is one of the preeminent NBA media members, now leaving that and running the St. Bonaventure basketball program as GM. Maybe people don't know his strong ties to New Jersey, and that's one of the things we talked about.
Up and down the state, from North Jersey, Central, Southern, there's just so many great programs, and I think there's very few schools in the country that don't recruit New Jersey pretty heavily.
That's just the tip of the iceberg, Jay.
Oh, my gosh. What a great conversation.
So, Woj, special episode drops Friday morning. We're going to have the podcast every Wednesday. We got a special bonus episode with Woj. Make sure you check it out. We really dive into the weeds with him. Thank him so much for taking the time to talk with us. And we'll come back and head for home here on this week's episode of Beyond the Score. Buffalo Wild Wings has teamed up with Jersey Sports Zone to honor high school athletes across the state with gift cards. We'll have Buffalo Wild Wings Player of the Game interviews all year long. Visit Buffalo Wild Wings locations in North Brunswick, Bridgewater, West Windsor, Flemington, Brick, and Toms River. A special thanks to the Munson Restaurant Group for supporting New Jersey high school athletes and Jersey Sports Zone. Jay, it's tough to talk about this, and we didn't know where the best place to talk about it was, but it's about celebrating high school sports, and we just spent the better part of an hour doing that. Now we got the sad and terrible, heartbreaking news on Sunday that one of the all-time greats in the NFL, center, offensive lineman Nick Mangold, a Jets legend, passed away at 41 due to kidney disease. This hits home for you in a number of ways because you are a diehard, lifelong Jet fan, but you had the opportunity to spend time with Nick Mangold. And I think everybody in the world knows about Nick Mangold, the football player. You were the person that shined the light on what he's doing right now, which was giving back by being an offensive line coach at Delbarton. I don't think everybody in the nation knows that. And this guy loved the sport so much that he's there with Coach Bauer's staff giving back. And he was such an integral part of the program in the short time he was there.
Very much so, yeah. Just really terrible news. Look, growing up a Jets fan, one of the all-time greats, no question about it. My wife is a huge Nick Mangold fan. She has a 74 jersey at the house. We specifically, I think the last Jets game we went to was where he was inaugurated to the Ring of Honor. And she said, I want to be there at this game. I want to see that. So I remember we were there, the banner being placed up there at the top of the stadium. That's my last memory of Nick Mangold in East Rutherford. Little do I know, year or two later, I get word that Nick Mangold is on staff at Delbarton's football team. And I said, is he hanging out? And they're like, no, he's a coach. He's coaching us. So I heard about that the summer before. The football preseason kicks into gear. And so I went to a Delbarton scrimmage, and lo and behold, there is mammoth of a man, Nick Mangold. I mean, he sticks out like a sore thumb, an NFL all-pro player. Certainly is going to be in the Hall of Fame one day. And he's there. He's coaching the Green Wave. And I said, boy, isn't that something? And, had some conversations with some people at Delbarton and said, look, if he wanted to talk, I would love to tell this story because you don't get this every day. And I was able to go to Delbarton, spend some time with him, talk to him, sit through some practices and watch these guys go and watch him in his element. And you could really tell how much he loved football just from those little moments there. And I mean, how many NFL guys come back and coach?
He doesn't have to.
Most guys don't. Most guys don't have to. Most guys don't want to, right? They've got other business ventures. They've got, things that they want to do, travel and all that stuff. This is a guy from Ohio who just loved football to his core. And the impact that he had at Delbarton, like you said, in a short amount of time, less than 2 seasons, was enormous. He was a very vocal leader, got these guys ready to go. I know Coach Bowers, an incredibly big Jets fan. We had that conversation when we did the Nick Mangold story, and he's like, I can't believe I'm in a locker room with this guy. He goes, I'm in a locker room. He's on the same headset as me. He said, what a treat as a Jets fan and just a fan of a great human being. So just terribly sad, really tough for that school community, for his wife, for his family. I mean, just really heartbreaking. And but it just goes to show the impact that one person can have. It was enormous. So we're very sorry to hear that.
Yeah, it's hard. And I think about everybody at Delbarton who those kids who have gotten attached to Coach Mangold. And I feel for them. And you mentioned that one of his boys is gonna be part of that program, and maybe the only solace during this horrible time is that young man is gonna have all those kids and all those coaches and that whole community at Delbarton to help him through this. And it's really sad and horrible. I at some point, if you watch Jay's story, at some point down the road, that family will smile seeing him in that element, that part. Everyone's gonna, and Canton is a no-brainer in my mind.
Oh,
I think it's a done deal. You think of centers who are going to be, him and Jason Kelsey are just like, there's no discussion in the room. It's done. So I just, our heart breaks. We again, our relationship, your relationship is Coach Mangold. So we saw that a little bit, and the other thing I thought about was Delbarton pulled off a big win on Saturday over DePaul, 28-6, and
yes,
I'm sure that that weighed heavy on the hearts of everyone to play like that on his last day on earth. It's something. So our thoughts and prayers are with everyone at Delbarton. It's hard to end the pod on something like this, but more important than anything, you're listening to all these things about Nick Mangold. You can't hear anyone say a bad word about him, and it's just a reminder for all of us and for all the kids out there. Thank your coaches. Make sure you say thank you to your coach, because
for sure
they're having that impact. We love talking about this stuff all the time, and again, it's a hard way to end the show, but we're thinking about the Mangold family. We're thinking about Delbarton, and we're excited to shine the spotlight. Grateful that Jay told that story. It was a beautiful story, and he will be sorely, sorely missed.
For sure, yeah, a very sad loss, and but like you said, the impact was an incredible impact in a short amount of time. So that's what I hope people remember.
That's Jay Cook. I'm Rich Krampanis. This has been Beyond the Score, Episode 9. Make sure you check out our interview with Woj coming up on Friday on our Jersey Sports Zone platforms.
If you have chronic joint or back pain, this is probably where you spend your time. Might we suggest a better destination that's close to home? RWJ Barnabas Health, where orthopedic surgeons designed the surgical implants that are now used around the world, and where you'll be cared for by the same doctors that treat professional athletes and rising stars. Get back to what you've been missing. Orthopedic care. Do it right. Here, RWJ Barnabas Health.